pricey course of education. Now I'm going to talk about that a bit more further in the presentation. But about the name, some of you were asking me during the interviews about the name. So it's composed of two words, fuse and visual. And really what we're trying to do is to go back to the basics, or to show what we're doing, and that's like blending or uniting people with the same vision, with similar visions in terms of students and architects. We also have a slogan, just like every company, and the final one, connecting students and architects, is really went through a lot of iterations, but but yeah, at the end we stopped with this one because we feel like it's simple and explicit enough of what we're doing. So here I'm gonna start personal experience that influenced the idea. And so as I said, I'm from Bulgaria, and I came to the UK in 2014 when I started my bachelor degree in the University of the West of England. And I was quite lucky to receive a kind of financial support from my parents, but I was also I was never feeling comfortable with spending their money. So I joined. I think it was towards the end of my first year. I joined a catering agency. So I was doing some waitering and bartender jobs just to get some money and support my education. So I did that for the period of my second year. And then at the end of my second year, I won an award. It's called Roger Good Design for Best Portfolio in the university. I decided to apply to some companies. I felt like maybe at least one company would find that interesting and would give me a chance, as I was really, if I can express in this way, hungry for experience. So I applied, but unfortunately, no company seemed to care about my award. So I really didn't get the chance to gain experience. And my first touch with the profession was when I graduated, when I finished my bachelor degree. Then I joined a small company. I think we're about 6 or 7 people. It's called Tate Architects, and I'll say I was very, very happy with the type of experience they gave me, because it was a small company. It really allowed me to work on different stages. So I did some planning drawings, I did building regs drawing. I was also working on presentations for clients, just meeting clients as well. Towards the end, I even had my own project and my own client, which for part one, I think that's just amazing. But at the end of my first year in practice, I decided that I want to get experience in a slightly larger company. So I moved to London and I joined the company called Joko and Architects. And again, like I'm extremely happy and thankful to the people that let me join the company, because I gained again very good experience. This time it was working on feasibility studies, but also working on projects that were already on site. So I'd say that with the type of experience that I gained, I was really happy. And I think around that time I started feeling that it's very difficult to manage big projects. So the bigger the project, the harder it is to manage it. And there are a lot of factors that can influence it. And the result, it's kind of doubling or even tripling the amount of work that architects or people in the practice have to produce. And that obviously creates the problem of that's been part of the profession for I don't know, like forever. So yeah, so I think I started thinking maybe in towards the end of my second year in practice about this issue and how it can actually be resolved. And I started from the perspective of a company that is experiencing, let's say, shortage of staff. Sorry. It's like, what are the options for them? And currently, there are really no viable options on the market for them to kind of contact someone, an agency or something that can give them a quick solution, a cost-effective solution as well. So a lot of companies are kind of forced to ask their employers to work overtime in order to finish the project. So coming from this type of thoughts and having at the same time my experience with a catering agency, I felt like, why not just, you know, apply the same principle but within the architecture profession? So what the catering agency ideally does is they connect. If, let's say, you need a bartender, you check, they check the architecture profession. So if a company needs, let's say, a person that works with AutoCAD, Photoshop, and InDesign, we can just look at our database and send them a person with experience in this kind of and with this kind of softwares. Obviously, this is very like a very simplified, but in the way that's what we think: personal connection and a network of students. On the other side, we have all of the companies that are willing to give chance to students and allow them to gain experience, but also the companies themselves are kind of helping themselves, because then they don't have to kind of force their employers to work longer hours. So the next couple of slides, I'm going to look at some of the issues of the current I'd say system, and how at Fusual we are intending of assisting the organizations that are already there for kind of solving issues. So the first one is it's a term that's been quite extensively used by social media and magazines. So it's elitism in architecture. What it means that it's that because the education is quite expensive, students don't have to only spend on their tuition fees, but they also spend on modeling materials, on trips, on their computer softwares, and etc. So it's very much a barrier for a lot of people that are coming from lower backgrounds. And this is just I put together a quick diagram that is looking at the way the qualification pathway works, and this is only for the UK, and the traditional pathway is I look only at full time, as there's the available part time is pretty much double of this one, so I thought it's not an attractive option, especially for this exercise. Yeah, I'm just here trying to analyze the fact that so the traditional pathway, it takes about 3 years, and then you don't spend any time in practice, or at least it's very, very difficult to find yourself a practical experience. Then you spend 1 year in practice, and then you have part 2, where again it's difficult. I mean, I'm sure that most of you are already aware of how this one works. The apprenticeship is something new. I think it's been established in 2018 probably, and what it really does is kind of addressing this elitism in architecture problem by providing students with the opportunity to first join a practice and then join the university. So once you join a practice, the practice is actually covering your cost for university. So you ideally pay 0. And then on top of that, you are working for about 3 to 4 days within the practice and just spending 1 or 2 days in university. So basically for the 8 years, let's say, period of education, you graduate with a title architect and you already have 8 years of experience, which makes it very attractive. And then we have the London School of Architecture, which is it's very much a kind of a protest of the traditional pathway. It's very similar to the apprenticeship pathway, but it's you again have to join the practice first before joining university. The difference between the apprenticeship model and the London School of Architecture is that you have to pay your fees with the London School of Architecture, and also they don't really have a part 1 at the moment course, but I know that they are developing one. So issues that all of those pathways have. So I wanted to make sure that students understand that there is no such thing as a ideal pathway or ideal way of achieving the title architect, because each one of those pathways have their own disadvantages. So with the traditional one, it's obvious it's the financial problem and the barrier that it sets. Then we're looking at the apprenticeship pathway, which is kind of solving this problem, but it has other issues like there are very limited options. Hopefully more people and more courses would be available. But also I think at the moment there are only companies in the UK that are really working with students with apprenticeship way of education. But there are a lot of comments from companies saying that they are not ready and they can't really spend resources on educating students because they feel like this pathway is kind of making them becoming the educators rather than just the practice. And also level 6 course, which is the one that is the first step that also would potentially solve this problem. It's very difficult for a company to trust someone that just finished college without any kind of experience in the industry. So there are problems. Obviously, like London School of Architecture is also kind of in the middle, so having again problems with employment and the school, because it's a new school as well. It has less access to facilities, so it's very personal, and students would have to take their personal choice, So mental health is another topic that's been quite a lot in the media, and I think that's good because then we're kind of raising awareness of the topic, and people are finding solutions to it. So according to the AJ, about 33% of students are currently experiencing or used to experience mental issues, and they ask for help. And then about 23% believe that in the future they would kind of need a type of help. Sorry, do you see the slides changing?
Yeah, I was just going to say I don't think they're actually changing anymore. It seems to have stopped on creating a network.
Oh no, seriously? You cannot see?
I'm not sure if it's me or not.
Yeah, let me just quickly reshare them. Yeah, because can you see my screen now?
Not at the moment. It's still the same screen for me.
Okay, I'll just quickly reshare then. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Can you just let me know, yeah, if you like. For a while, I don't change the the screen. So
Yeah.
this is about the elitism in architecture problem that I talked about. Can you see now when I'm changing it? It's qualification pathways.
Yeah, that's working now. Yeah, yeah.
So that's a traditional pathway. It's quite pretty much most of the time is spent in education, and apprenticeship pathway is kind of in the middle, and then the London School of Architecture. And also the problems that I was talking about. So the financial problems and the lack of opportunities, I mean, different courses. And that's the mental health. See that slide, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I mean, it's important to kind of make sure that people are aware that going through some hardship is it's fine. Like we all going through some difficult moments sometimes, and seeking for help is it's not shameful or anything. Like you there should be this kind of supportiveness, and a writer, actually, Robert Mull. He's a journalist writing articles for the zine. He's saying he believes that the university is the place where this kind of competitive is built, and that's where I would say the mental issue starts. So I guess it would be important to kind of work with universities as well in order to make sure that the pressure is not so high on students. And that's my next slide, which is diversification within the profession. So I'm sure that most of you are aware that currently the profession is kind of lacking of certain groups of people. We're talking about people with disabilities, people from different race or gender or class. So this is a problem, and the way we will try to address that at Fusual. But I'm just gonna quickly talk you through the through a quick survey that I did, which very nicely demonstrates the reason why we need to have people from different groups within the profession. So you probably, I hope you see that slide, but basically I went to speak with some locals about the landmark in the city, which is this pier at the beach. And the reason I wanted to speak with them is because the main access route is through a staircase. And then in order a disabled person to reach that bridge, a pier, it's actually about a 20 minutes walk to a ramp, and then you go down the ramp, and then that's how you reach it. So I wanted to see the point of view of abled people and the point of view of disabled people. So starting with the abled people, most of them, the answers that I received from them were that there isn't really a problem, that pretty much there is an accessible route and it works. It's a kind of a park area, so it's not a problem for people to walk down the park and use the accessible route. So technically, if you considering the topic from a kind of I don't know, like a practical point of view, you might agree with them. But then once you start talking with the disabled people, I found out that people are just saying that they haven't been to the beach for many years because it's just too long, the way is too long, and they get tired easily. Then when even if they use the ramp and go down, it's very difficult for them to go up because they're tired, and because the ramp is quite steep as well. So then we start looking here at this kind of phenomenon, and I call it in my research being blind for other people's experience, because it's true, it's very difficult to kind of put yourself in someone else's shoes, especially if you haven't gone through the struggle and through the experience they are going through on a daily basis. So then if I go back to my diversification within the profession, I think it's very important to make sure that we have all of the different points of view. So we have people that can express their opinion and knowledge on the topic from the first person perspective. So from a person that has actually gone through this kind of hardship. Cool. And so basically the way in order we want to do this is we want to address those problems is to raise the awareness of the issues and to make sure that people are kind of making sure that other people also know how difficult it is to kind of go through those kind of hardships. So we want to develop this kind of platform network where students and professionals can exchange experience through advices and just give themselves share their thoughts. And the idea is to make sure that students feel supported and welcome to the course and to the profession as well. So we've been in contact with different organizations that are supporting people with different type of disabilities, but also organizations that are against racism and inequality in the profession. And really what the goal is to invite them in order to be part of this community. And by doing this, we really want to make sure that those groups feel welcome and don't feel excluded from and unsupported as well. And I mean, this is something that we are currently working on, and we hope that we can make it live very soon. But on the other side, we have our Instagram page, and what we're doing is really using the Instagram profile on Fusual as the main way for reaching out to many architectural students. And we would like to create opportunities for growth for them. So the way we're doing this is by posting interesting content, like our last post was on how to cope with deadlines. So you can go check it out. But for the future, what we're looking at is topics like software shortcuts, different routes for qualifications, what PEDR is, and etc. But also we're looking at presenting some data by us talking to architectural companies, which I think would be very helpful to students. So things like, what should I include in my portfolio, skills that the practices are looking for, and what to expect from when you go to an interview, and of course what to expect when you go to practice. I think all of that would be quite useful to the students. And on top of that, as I said, we are sharing other people's work, students' work, and we're doing this for two main reasons. First of all, we want to say, great, amazing job, like give the credit to the student that is posting the work, but at the same time, we want to make sure other people see it, or the students that maybe are in a lower degree. So maybe we post a a work of a master's student and all of the bachelor degree students, I'm sure that they can definitely get inspired and benefit by seeing that. So yeah, I mean, what the ultimate goal is to basically create this kind of open and supportive environment where everyone is learning by others' experience. And just going to conclude this by saying you can go on our website. If you want to join us, go on employers or candidates, depending on which one you are. And we develop this 3 easy step system. And that's basically a response to the dynamic environment and way the profession works. So we wanted to make it as easy and quick as possible for people to join. So you just have to introduce yourself, write something about you. We're then going to have a chat over Teams or Zoom. And then it's the third part is the sweet part where we just connect the dots, so connecting students and architects. And that's it. Thank you. And don't forget to follow us because it's free. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to, we'll do some question and answers in a minute, but if I just stop recording a second.